First, let me apologize to everyone. We're about 5 minutes over. I was running late, so they're good. I wasn't. So we'll move on and start there. And Dr. Strike reminded me I was running a little late there, so. Good evening. The board now convenes this meeting of the Little Elm ISD Board of Trustees open session on Monday, April 20th at 6 p.m. in the Zeller Centers for Learning and Leadership. I am Deleon English, President of the Little Elm ISD Board of Trustees. On the board's behalf, I would like to welcome all who are present and to our video viewers. Let me introduce my fellow trustees and staff. Seated to my right is Ms. Leanna Harding, our Vice President. Trustee Cooper Biggis, who is unavailable. Trustee Christopher Williams, and Superintendent Dr. Lowell Strike. To my left is seated Trustee Alex Flores, our Secretary, Trustee Stephanie Gregg, and Trustee Melissa Myers. For Superintendent's leadership team, we have present Matthew Gutierrez, Cindy Mika, Russell Van Hoos, who else we have? Pat Robbins, and who else we have? Oh, Mr. Grant Anderson. Sorry, didn't see you over there. The trustees, as a board corporate, have the executive power and duty to govern and oversee the management of the public schools of the district. The board's responsibility and duty is to assure the public that the district resources are being used efficiently and effectively. The board's role in management oversight shall be to ensure the integrity and performance of all major management systems, including but not limited to finance, human resources, technology, transportation, food services, custodial grounds, safety security, construction management, and facilities management. Leadership, management, and operational responsibilities are charged directly to the superintendent of schools. For the public, this is a working session meeting which allows for the board to discuss the business of the district. For the citizens input portion of our agenda, the board has made available public comment cards that are accepted at or before the regular meeting. Cards are not accepted after the meeting has started. All cards will be collected and given to the board secretary or representative who will present to the speaker during the time. At this time, please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you very much. All right. Yeah. All right, let's get into the meat of this thing. Roll call, please.
Dr. Lowell Strike.
Present.
Mr. Christopher Williams.
Present.
Ms. Leanna Harding.
Here.
Mr. Deleon English.
Here.
Mr. Alejandro Flores.
Here.
Ms. Stephanie Gregg.
Here.
Ms. Melissa Myers.
Here.
And not present, Mr. Cooper Beatis.
Thank you very much. At this time, at 6:08, we will open citizen input. Do we have any citizen input? No citizen input today. No one wants to speak. Nobody. Not a soul. Everybody's quiet. Okay. Not a soul today. 6:09, we'll close citizen input. Next up, approval of minutes. Discuss and approve regular minute meetings 4/13/2015.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
There is a second. Is there any discussion? No discussion? Looks okay. All those in favor of approving board minutes as recommended by staff for 4/13/2005, please say aye or raise your hand. Motion carries. No one disapproves. I like it. Next up, item 6, Superintendent Spotlight.
Well, I'm not sure, are we starting with Ms. Pentecost, Ms. Clark?
Yes, sir.
Start with the Little Elm High School Students of the Month and Principal Renee Pentecost.
Good evening.
The light will turn green.
Hey, kind of hard to push.
Yeah, you can push it down.
There you go.
Good evening, President English, board members, and Dr. Strack. It is once again my privilege to introduce to you a couple of our outstanding students at Little Elm High School. The first one is Mr. George Chamone. Come on up, George. George is a sophomore student at Little Elm High School. He was born in Sweden and moved to Little Elm when he was 5, has gone to Little Elm School since. He currently is trying to prepare himself for college by taking a number of pre-AP classes. He wants to challenge himself so that he'll be ready for college. He thinks he might want to be a dentist, so he's taking some health science courses. And he was in athletics last year, but looking for opportunities to get more involved at the high school. He's considering running for a student council officer for next year. He's a member of our New Kindness Club. And George was thrilled when I called him down to my office, and his parents, brothers are here this evening as well in support of him. And he's just another example of a great kid that we have at Little Elm High School. Our second student of the month tonight was unable to be here. She is on our softball team, who is currently playing in the Colony. I'm going to leave here right after this and go watch them. We are right on the edge of being in the playoffs, so she couldn't miss that tonight. But she wanted me to share that she's a freshman. Her name is Savannah Stover. And she also is in quite a few pre-AP classes, and she has really liked this year that her teachers have helped her adjust to the difference between middle and high school and the more difficulty of the classes. She plays catcher on our softball team, and she has one sister who's currently a junior at the high school and a brother who's in 8th grade at the middle school, so we're going to have all 3 of them at the high school next year. And her name again is Savannah Stover. Thank y'all so much.
Well, congratulations to those students. Thanks, Ms. Pentecost. I think one thing she points out that we need to remember is, you know, just another example of the great students that we have throughout the district, and in her case, particularly at Little Elm High School. And I think it's great that we have an opportunity to recognize that excellence, and we appreciate the support of families in that realm also. Next up is Principal Kelly Carr with Brent Elementary.
So good evening, Dr. Strike and School Board, and ladies and gentlemen. We have our, oh no, Miss Peters. We have our Brent Spotlight tonight, and we decided to change it around a little bit. So instead of focusing on staff or students, we're going to focus on our top volunteers. These volunteers are different than any ordinary volunteers. They go above and beyond and definitely have a passion for kids. They just love Brent, and I consider all 3 my friends. So first off, we're going to bring up the 5th grade team, and they're going to announce the first awardee. So here they come up. Come on up, ladies. It's awkward over there. Stand over here. There we go.
Our first hero that we want to recognize tonight is somebody who basically does whatever is needed at our school. He comes all the time for cafeteria duty, helps us with that. He's always out there at car duty. If the cones need to be put out, he's putting the cones out. If somebody's not feeling good and they don't feel like doing car duty, he'll take their cone and put the kids in the car and help us out with that. And he also went on our 5th grade field trip with us. And it's not easy going on a camp out with 100 5th graders, and you're in charge of not just your child, but 5 or 6 other kids. And our hero that we'd like to recognize is Mr. Brandon Gerard.
We don't want you to leave.
No, can we
Yes,
miss
we
6th
lose
grade
him.
test?
Be careful what you ask for.
I didn't mean to leave.
No, no.
Thanks again,
Y'all pose for Cecile, just real quick. Thank you. Strike a pose. 1, 2. Get in the picture. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And with our second is the 1st grade team. Here they come on up. Thank you, ladies. And Senor Alvarez.
Our Brent Hero is a woman that has been a Brent PTA president this year and has been an active member of the Brent PTA for the past 4 years. She is the mother of 4 boys in our district, 2 of whom go to Brent Elementary. Her dedication to the students of Brent is evident in everything that she does. She always has a smile on her face and is ready to help us in any way that she can. She makes sure that the teachers have what they need for our classrooms, and she makes sure she purchases things that are engaging and fun for our students. She is generous with her time and talents, and we are grateful for her extraordinary service and dedication to our students, parents, and teachers. So if you will welcome me in honoring Miss Lori Reeves. It's our Thank you.
And did you guys say mom of 4 boys?
Yes.
Thank you.
Like that's not me.
Oh, strike a pose again, guys.
1, 2.
Oh, pen out.
1, 2, 3. Good.
All right. Now, our 2nd grade team with a grandpa that helps us out almost every day.
Every
Thank you, ladies.
This volunteer has shown his dedication to our school and students day in and day out. He helps our students practice their reading fluency, questions them to check their comprehension, and gets them ready for our weekly spelling test. He's developed relationships with our students and even with us. When Pappy walks with our students hand in hand, the students look up to him. They are not angry about working with him, they're excited about working with him. We realized 3 years ago how involved he was with our students when it was around book fair time. Book fairs at elementary are a huge deal. The kids get all hyped up, they look at the flyers, they're making the plans. Unfortunately, for many of our students, their parents cannot afford the expense of new books at the book fair. These students ask us the whole week, how long is the book fair? And how much do they need to buy anything at all at the book fair? So Pappy works with our students and knows that some cannot afford new books. So he took the students he works with to the book fair himself and bought them books. If Pappy had not intervened, these students would not have had the gift of brand new books. And for some of these students, it is the big thing that gets them excited about reading, or brand new books at the book fair. These students were so proud of their books, and we realized then how much love Pappy has for our students at Bryn Elementary. He doesn't just work with them, but he cares about them. Pappy shows his selfless acts to our school in so many ways. He has stepped in to help families in need. He has donated to the school fundraisers. He saw the sad state of our Christmas tree, and he took it upon himself to purchase a brand new Christmas tree for our school. He has a given nature that we are just so lucky to benefit from. So for his dedication to love our students, second grade and the rest of Brent are honored to present him this special award. Thank you so much, Pappy. Oh, they want pictures. You can get out of this picture. We got to pose.
I thought my granddaughter was getting something.
All righty, 1, 2, 3. Yay.
These are for your wife. Pappy works the same shift we all do. He gets there when we do, and he leaves. So it's just phenomenal. Thank you very much. Well, for all three of our heroes today, thank you, and thank you to all the volunteers that help us at Brent. Thank you for the Brent family for coming out tonight. We appreciate that. And thank you, Dr. Strike, and the school board for doing everything you do to support us. Thank you.
Next up, Warren Green.
Rod, there you are. Rod has a couple guests tonight, and he's going to introduce those folks and the Going Green Award that is part of the Keep America Beautiful.
That's right. Thank you, Dr. Strike and President English and members of the board. It's kind of neat to see the volunteers and the appreciation and the partnerships that we have, and we have another great partnership that I'd like to talk about this evening, and that's with the town of Little Elm. I can't tell you, there's a phrase I often like, is there are those that stick closer than brothers, and sometimes I call on Kevin Mattingly with the town of Little Elm to take care of some things. So when it's icing at 3 in the morning or something, and we need some help at some of our schools, he's always there. And so it's very nice to have somebody that you can call on and count on. And also, I think it's Robert, and Robert, you tell me if I say your last name right, Medigovich, is that correct? He's with CWD, and they're with our waste service and recycling program. They work with the town of Little Elm. And so, they're both here because they wanted to present the school board and the district an award for Going Green Award for Keep America Beautiful. They actually went to Washington, D.C. and accepted the award on our behalf, and they're here to present that to you this evening. So I wanted to introduce both of them. Kevin Mattingly and Robert, can y'all come up?
Thank you, Rod. You're too nice, first of all. And it's not me at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's my guys in there. And Danny. It's been a great partnership, and I think if everybody knows the town works with you all really well, and also the school board works really good with us as well, it really helps us out. And it's a great partnership, and I think it betters the residents and the town in whole. And I'm pretty fortunate to have great people like Rod and his staff working with us as well. But tonight, I'm honored, as well as Robert. We attended Keep America Beautiful annual conference in Washington, D.C. in January. And on behalf of the school board, I'd like to present the school board and the district with Keep America Beautiful, presented the town of Little Elm and Little Elm ISD First Place School Project Youth Service Award. And I'm going to read just a little bit that kind of covers some of the partnerships that we have dealt with together. The town of Little Elm and the Little Elm ISD distinguished itself for its outstanding community work on the Going Green program, which targeted students in the community to increase recycling. The results was a 21% increase in landfill diversion. Keep America Beautiful, established in 1953, consists of a national network of over 600 community-based affiliates whose goals aim to transform public areas into beautiful places. Our local agency is Keep Little Elm Beautiful as well. This award recognizes the town of Little Elm and the Little Elm ISD for working with community waste disposal, Robert and his people, to initiate waste minimization programs. One example included First Green High School football stadium that showed an environmental message on the scoreboard and recycled containers wrapped with the local high school athletes, and the slogan was "Winners Recycle." And that was one of the great partnerships that actually awarded us a grant from COG to actually fund those recycling containers. CWD funded the wrapping of them, and with the Little Elm ISD athletes. And we are pretty fortunate. Those are really great programs. So with that, I'd like to present the school district and the board with that, and thank you all. Robert, did you have anything?
Well, on behalf of the school district, certainly we appreciate the partnership, and CWD, thank you for what you do to make a difference for us. I was just writing it down. I've been in education, for public education, for 36 years in 9 different school districts, which means 9 different towns, or probably more towns than that total, and have never worked in a school district that has the kind of folks in the town that are in Little Elm. Phenomenal staff all the way through, always about being service-oriented, do what's right for our kids and our community, and this is just another example. So thank you so much for what you do. Very valuable.
Thank you for staff and Dr. Strike and school for this achievement. This is really wonderful that we're taking on our opportunity to go over it. Good job. Next up, introduction Executive Director of Human Resources.
We're going to skip that agenda item. Mr. Gutierrez worked the new gentleman so hard, he's got a backache, and he had to go to the doctor today and wasn't feeling well, felt very bad, and texted Matthew and I early this morning and said he's going to go to the doctor. If he could make it, he would, but they evidently told him he better stay put. So we'll catch him in I guess, a May meeting. Take care of introducing Ross Roberts.
All right. Way to go, Mr. Gutierrez. Working hard already. All right. Keeping on your toes. Great. Next up, item 7, reports of the superintendent.
What I'd like to discuss tonight, and this is really just a report of a move that we're going to move toward that really has a lot of varied support. Being the school district that we are in a one high school district and looking at growth patterns would remain such. Making a move, and this is after consulting with our elementary principals, and of course at Lakeside and the senior high, they're already Lobos. But moving to one common mascot throughout the whole district, that from the time a child enters kindergarten until they graduate, that they're Lobos. And I think that will bring us together even stronger. It supports many of the core values that we put in that we'll be bringing you to later. But one of them is the fact that we really believe that all our kids are all our kids. And I think it sends a message, and I envision when those high school athletes come down, volleyball players with their tops on, football players with their jerseys, whatever the case may be, baseball players with theirs, coming down to read to our elementary children, and they're Lobos, and they're reading to other Lobos, and they're all in this together, and we talk about the power of one and Lobos for life, and the sense of community that we have here that really is unique to us. The fact that we can all be Lobos sends a strong message that we're in this together. In terms of the community, I know that even in some of the little league football that's out there, they're all Lobos. And here we are, we enter, and we're not always all Lobos. And I think that it'll pull us together in one spirit as we move forward. So we're looking at moving to all being Little Elm Lobos from the day you step in, and I'm going to get t-shirts some way, either through something that Pat's able to fund, or I'll figure out a way to do it. But when our kindergartners come in, we've got the theme of destination that you've seen around, and it will fit with our vision once we share that with you. But every kindergartner to come in with the t-shirt that says destination graduation with the LE and the Lobo in the center, destination graduation, and those kindergartners will be the class of 2028. And just to set that tone that we're talking about graduating already when they're in kindergarten, and that we have to be about preparing them for the best. So we're going to move in that direction. I just wanted to share that with the board.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And just a great move to bring us all together as one community wants to have.
And I've seen the power of that in a couple different districts that I've been in, just to, I'll pull one that's further away than some of the ones that are close. When I was in Katy, Texas, Katy High School, which has won, 7 or 8 state football championships. If you walked into Katy Elementary or Katy Junior High, you would see massive numbers of kids with Katy Tiger shirts on. And the little kids, when they go out for recess, if they were playing football, they were running the Katy High offense when they were in 3rd grade. But there was such a sense of pride that they were all Tigers, and you can think of other districts around us that have that similar push, and it really develops a sense of pride that we're all in this together. And so thank you for your support of that.
Thank you. At this time, the board will recess into closed meeting in the professional development room as permitted by the Texas Opens Meeting Act, subchapter 115.074 at 6:31. At 7:06, we will open the regular meeting. Next item of business, discuss and consider action on coordinator for language and literacy.
Good evening. The administration would like to recommend the board take action on the candidate who was discussed during closed session for the position of coordinator for languages and literacy.
I move the board approve. I move that the board approve the policy, approve the employment of the individual discussed in the closed meeting for the position of coordinator for languages and literacy.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? With no discussion, all those in favor of considering the coordinator for language literacy, raise your hand and say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Members of the board, I'm pleased to announce that Miss Ann Van Zant will be joining Little Elm ISD. She is currently in Louisville ISD, serving in a similar capacity as the English Language Arts Coordinator for elementary schools.
Thank you. All right. Next order of business, discuss and consider action on policy audit, policy update. You gotta push it. You gotta.
Good evening, Board. Good evening, Dr. Strike. Were there any questions about the policies we brought forward?
I have one, Ms. Mecca.
Yes.
On policy EIA, it was, according to the notes, adjusted grade level, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, EIA. District issues grade reports, report cards every 9 weeks for students K through 8. And then 9 through 12, it says issued every 3 weeks.
Report cards are every 6 weeks, but progress reports are every 3 weeks. But let's go to that real quick.
Because it had 6 weeks in the policies.
Yeah, it's 6 weeks, but they would receive their progress reports at 3 weeks. So, EIA, just verify that before we vote on it. For students in kindergarten through grade 8, the district shall issue grade report cards every 9 weeks. For students in 9 to 12, shall issue report cards every 6 weeks. Grade reports shall be approved by the it's 6 weeks. The summary was incorrect.
Okay, all right.
So let's make a modification there.
Thank you.
Okay. Modification on EA.
No, it's
That's right,
correct.
okay.
It was just the,
It's
the
the
policy.
summary
Policy summary.
that Tabby
Okay.
prepared for us had an error in it, but the actual policy is correct.
Good catch, Ms. Myers.
Well, I read all of these.
Good job.
I did too, but I.
Any other questions on the policies?
All right. No further questions on policy and policy updates. Is there a motion for approval of policy updates as audited?
So moved.
So moved. Is there a second? Second. There's a first and a second. Is there any discussion?
I just want to say thank you for going through, this is tedious work. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very much so.
We learned a lot.
Very much so. No further discussion? All those in favor of the policy updates as recommended by staff, say aye or raise your hand. Any opposed? All policy updates carry forward. Great job. Thank you very much. This is awesome. Yes. Discuss and consider action on math instructional materials.
Last week, we brought to you, just to recap, we brought to you the funding needed to finish out Proclamation 14, which was last year's proclamation for the adoption of math and science materials. At the time, previous administration had purchased one-year licenses for math and science. With our rollover, we were able to complete the science licenses for 7 years. In order to complete the adoption for math for the next 7 years, we were coming to ask for $465,427, which would be a savings of almost $100,000 if we do it in a 7-year increment instead of 1 year at a time. Otherwise, we would need the money for the 1-year license every year for the next 7 years because the allotment money is finished.
I want to make note that we have access to that during the summer as well, when it used to end.
At the elementaries, that's consumables. And so they're paper, so the K-1-2 students would not have those materials, but anything that we have a digital license for, yes, we would have. Some of the we don't do the digital license for the younger students. Number one, they don't have the devices, and theirs is more paper-driven at that age as we're teaching them different things. It's all the investigations, which is hands-on materials. There's a lot of manipulatives involved, and so all of those stay in the classroom.
I'd like to move that the board approve the use of the fund balance to purchase math materials for K through 8 as submitted.
Second.
The first and the second. Is there any further discussion? With no further discussion, all those in favor of approval for action of math instruction material, raise your hand and say aye. All opposed? Motion carries as recommended by staff.
Thank you, we appreciate it.
Next item, consent agenda. Any questions for the consent agenda? We discussed this in the working session last week, all items there. No questions on the consent agenda? There are no questions. Entertain a motion for approval of consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second? There is a second. Is there any further discussion? No further discussion? All those in favor of approval of consent agenda, raise your hand and say aye. Any opposed? Consent motion carries forward. Next up, reports to the board president. I don't have anything this time. We're going to be meeting for the board goals, which we had discussed, in the follow-on administration. So we'll move that in there. Unless there's anything I may have gotten with Dr. Strike. Anything I remember?
No, sir.
All right. Start fading after a while. All right, question agenda items.
I'm not sure that it's an actual agenda item or something we could probably be updated on. There's a lot of talk of STAR testing that's going on right now, and parents being able to opt out. And I know that there's a lot of controversy both ways. I know it's against Texas law, according to the code. I just wanted to get some, I guess, feedback or kind of some input on any research that's been out there, what's going on, what the actual, why they're, all the stuff in New York. Just kind of get some feedback, some, I guess, an expert opinion.
I'll get some feedback and an update to you, and I think at the board table, the answer is it's against state law.
Right.
Pretty much covers everything, doesn't it? Okay. At this time, I'd like to open up for board comments. Mrs. Myers? No comments? Okay. Mr. Gray? Mr. Flores?
I only have one request, if it's okay with the board. I'm unavailable the 18th of May for the regular board meeting, if we can move it to the 19th of May, from Monday to Tuesday. Anyone opposed?
Vote.
Do we have the date of when y'all going to swear in the new member? Is that the date?
That is the date.
That would be the
That would be the date.
I'm fine.
Okay, 19th? Ms. Myers?
We have the workshop the week before?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, just as an FYI, I'm out that week,
The 18th?
the 11th.
11th, okay, okay.
So,
Okay.
but the 19th is fine.
That's fine.
Okay.
You good? You good? Okay. Dr. Wright, we'll move the meeting from the 18th to the 19th for the meeting.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
May I say something?
Please.
We just have to check on to see if we're within the guidelines of the canvassing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think the 10, was it 10 days? I think it's whatever the number of days it is. Yeah, yep.
That's my only.
Yeah, I think it was it 10 days or what was the number of days?
I think so.
I think it's 10 days. I think then at the rate we would have had to move it. Yeah. So could check the number of days. I think it's 10, but let's make sure of that, which means we'll have to move out to the
20th.
20th, yeah.
Election
This
is
is 9th. So 19th. 19th would be right. So Nancy working stuff out. Yeah, so Nancy working stuff out. Good catch, thank you very much.
I'll check.
Okay, thank you.
All right, anything else for us? Okay. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you did?
Yes, sir.
All right. Just no items. You have no comment. No comments? All right. The only other comment I have is coming up in our next board cycles, we will have invocations, so they will be attached to our regular board meetings. That will definitely move forward, and I apologize to my board members for not including that this time, but being informed. That's what I have to move forward. All right. Other than that, superintendent comments.
A couple items were brought up last time were to look into something with retirees and the Alumni Association. This morning was our first superintendent's leadership team to have a chance to address that. So I'll put that in a Friday update on a couple ideas that have already been thrown out there. Did you notice I added the superintendent comments separate so I could get a couple things in here that I think are important. Mr. Anderson has the May 5th with the Financial Summit from 9 to 12. That is an open meeting. We will go ahead and post an agenda. We don't have to have a quorum to be able to have a meet because we're not voting on anything, but we're going to go ahead and post it that way. If we have a quorum, we're fine. He's got experts coming in that he's had phone conferences with. One of them, he actually went to Lubbock and sat down with one of the state's most respected financial advisors to look at our revenue projections and see where we're at. We've got our demographer coming in to help us out with some things, and a couple other folks that I think you'll find put a lot of things on the table just for us to talk about in terms of the challenges that are ahead as we look at the future and where we're headed. And of course, we don't know right now what the state's doing in terms of allocation that could help us to some degree, but ours is not so much on the M&O side as it is on the debt service side and brick and mortar and what we need to do to accommodate and have seats for children. So as we grow as a fast growth district and where we're at with our tax rate. So we'll have some folks that you'll be able to have Q&A, and they'll do some actual formal presentations, time for Q&A. And for those that are part of the board or were invited, there's lunch after if you want to stay. And I'm not sure who all will be able to stay and have lunch conversation, but that conversation can continue. Also, just kind of out there a ways, but I think it's important that if you can make it at all, that you try and make a convocation. I think that you will find it to be a very enjoyable convocation, that if you miss it, you'll feel bad that you missed it. We're at Stonebriar Church again, 1:30 to 3:30 in the afternoon, August 17th. And that will be we're giving the staff an opportunity to go to their campuses in the morning. That was one thing as a principal that I really was important that I get my family back on the campus together first, rather than seeing each other after the long summer, all of a sudden the convocation. And that'll also give them time to get ready, and it's just going to be a rockin' good time. I'll just leave it at that. People will leave feeling very good. We have some athletic signings tomorrow of 3 student athletes that are going to be signing to play in college beyond their Little Elm days. That's at 4 o'clock in the Little Elm High School competition gym, and I just got notice of that, so that's why there wasn't something prior on that. If you're around, it'd be great to drop in. Understand people's schedules are busy. I had the opportunity to go watch the band UIL competition. It was held at Centennial High School, and our band just did an absolutely wonderful job, and I've sent you some information on all the different places and things, and you would have been proud to sit there and listen to our kids. And it was neat because I'd been in the band hall quite a bit lately listening to them, so it was the same music I heard them practice, and then to hear them pull it off on stage when it counted and somebody was there judging them, they just did a fabulous job. I was very proud of those kids, and had an opportunity to meet some parents that were there also supporting the kids, so that was a good time. So just a few things, and as you know, it's a busy time with testing and all kinds of events going on athletically, and wrapping up the year. So things are flying, and if there's anything that you need as a board, individually or as a corporate group, make sure you let us know, because we'll make sure that you're always informed of what we're doing, what's going on, and those questions. Every one of us is available on Superintendent's leadership team to answer your questions so that you're informed, and when you're out in the public and somebody asks you, you can say, hey, I know about that, or I'll get you an answer. We want to be about customer service to our community. And I'll tell you what, I got a great superintendent's leadership team of folks that are they're usually one step ahead. When I bring something up, they go, yeah, we're already working on that, so that makes me feel good. We got great people, and they're working hard to do what's right for our kids. So if there's something we're not doing or something that you need, make sure that you bring that to the forefront, because we'll take care of it.
Ready for your those, Doctor? Okay.
I was going to add one other item too. May 20th is Special Olympics. So I know that they're looking for volunteers. So I just wanted to bring that up. And then again, this Saturday is the Oak Point Chavez Run.
Yes.
So if anybody can attend.
Yes.
I think there's a deadbeat between 300 runners for each school, something like that, 236.
Now, do we have to sign up, or, I mean, do we have to go and sign up? We do have to sign up online.
You have to go online and sign up, yeah.
And you have to pick a school.
$18. to
Okay,
run.
I wasn't sure if I had to sign up or not.
You have
Which
to
one,
pick a
what school you?
school.
Tell me, am I running against you, or, I mean, are we doing this? I'm trying to find out. I mean,
Choose your school.
you running too, right?
Throwing things at people.
I don't Honesty right here in front of everybody.
Chris, I signed up for the t-shirt.
For
I'm
the
not
t-shirt?
I got the t-shirt.
Okay, maybe I'll get the t-shirt and watch you run.
You won't be watching me run. You're watching me crawl. I'm gonna run. Tell Alex, go. Go. All right, that's it. It's time to entertain a motion for adjournment.
I move we adjourn.
Second? You have a second motion?
Second.
And second. All in favor of adjournment? Adjourn the meeting at 7:25.